You're full of it. Get over yourself. What you think you know and what you think, or the excuses you think you're making that are legit aren't. Stop it. If it ever got to the point where I climbed a flight of stairs and I was out of breath, that's when I'm gonna do something. It took me all day to eat that whole pizza. I didn't just do it in one sitting.
Right,
so that's okay. Wow. If I had to, just wow. Because everything in your head that you think is gonna happen, good, bad, and different, it does, but then there's so much more to it that you didn't know. The way I describe it, it's a lot of little things. It's little things like, I'd go out and mow the lawn. Prior would be, and it's not a big lawn. I'd mow the back. I'd take a break, right? I'm not out of breath. I'm just taking a break. I just want some water. I don't want to overexert myself. Then, okay, I guess I should probably finish the front yard too. So, 2.5 hours later, I got my yard done. I'm back in. I'm done for the day. One of the first times I mowed my lawn, I mowed it, put everything away, sat down and went, oh, dang. And it was maybe 45 minutes. It's going to the doctor's office. I went to my first eye exam, and the chairs that you got to sit in the waiting room, they're about this big.
Mm-hmm.
I would always, before I sat down, I'd adjust my wallet, my cell phone up, and then I'd sit in the chair, because if I didn't,
Right.
So I do that, and I sit down, I'm like, whoa. Oh, okay.
This is cool.
Right. I don't look at chairs and do the whole. Here we go. Didn't matter what I was doing, what the temperature was, I was drenched head to toe. And I thought that I'm just a big sweaty guy. Now, not only do I work all day, I'll plink at it. I'm not tired when I'm done, and for lack of a better term, I can wear the clothes. I continue to wear the clothes. One, I guess the biggest catalyst for making this start was my son in 2019. He's 10 now, but he started playing lacrosse. So we were doing lacrosse and hockey at the same time. And he always wanted me to join. Hockey was an easy one because it's like, dude, that's ice, I'm big. Look at your coaches, they're skating around helping, honey, and I'm doing one of these. The fundamentals they're not there. Lacrosse was different because you're out on the field and it's sunny and you don't need any special equipment to help other than a stick. So I tried a couple times and chasing around, I think it was 8 at that time, a bunch of 8-year-olds. Decided impossible. So that was kind of the catalyst that started it. Is I want to be there for my son. He's very athletic. He's showing signs of being in sports, so this isn't going to quit. So that's what started. So my catalyst moment, or my wow, or I did it moment was 3 weeks ago. They had started lacrosse again. So with COVID, they shut down the 2020 season. So 2021, he's now in a 3-4, and that's 3rd and 4th graders. And he's 10 now. Now we're all up to speed. We were out at the park. I get out, I'm helping my son get ready. The coach, who was his kindergarten, or the 2019 coach, they call it K2 because it's kindergarten, 2nd grade.
Okay.
K2 coach is now his 3-4 coach. Comes up to me and he's got this look on his face like, now I know I need to ask you something, but I don't know how to ask it because it might be a little weird to ask it, but I'm gonna ask it anyways. He comes up and he's like, Brian. I'm like, yeah, hey, what's up? He goes, did you lose a little bit of weight? I did. My COVID project has been myself. I did this, I've gone through this process. At that point, I think I had just crossed the 100-pound mark of losing. So I was like, I dropped the 100. He's like, oh my God, that's great. And, he goes, so tell you what, we really need some help on the field. Would you be willing to help us coach? I'm like, hells yeah, I will. Thank you. So we do that, right? And oh yeah, it was awesome. And it kept going from there. I'm getting chills thinking about it. So I'm not to the wow moment. That day, I ran. And again, it's another one of those moments where unless you haven't done it, you really don't understand it. Prior to all this, I never ran because I didn't like it. Not because I was fat or I couldn't. I can run. Dude, I can run. If I need to run, I will. I just don't like it. Who the hell runs? And these people that run for fun. So the coach needed me to go get something across the field. And it's probably a good 100+ yards. And I'm not booking, but just get up to like a good pace. And it was one of those almost out-of-body experiences where I'm like, I'm running right now. Yep, I'm running. And this is weird, and I don't feel awkward. I'm still running. Holy cow, I've run almost this entire stretch. And I'm like, I'm a little out of breath too, because that was the other thing. In order to do all this, I had to stop smoking, because prior to this, I was doing cigarettes and vape pen.
Mm-hmm.
So March 2020 was my 1 year of, or no, 2021 was 1 year of no smoking. So doing the whole, damn, I get across the field, I'm like, out of breath, right? Because I ran. But it was just like, okay, this is so weird. It's just that strange, I just freaking ran, right?
Exactly.
I'm gonna do it again. At one point, I raced my son, and he gave up because he couldn't breathe, right? It was just one of those, okay, this is really cool. Because I was helping, they're like, hey, can you help out on the sidelines? All coaches, and they're like, yeah, this would be awesome. Wrap that bone up in a quick bundle. Because I'm not officially a coach and haven't gone through all the background checks and what they require, I could not stand on the sidelines during a game and act as coach. So it was one of those, okay, cool, no problem. I'll do the run-in at half times and all that, so we did. Halfway through the game, towards the end of the game, the head lacrosse guy comes up and he's like, hey, I hear that you were not set up as a coach. I'm like, no, I've just been helping. Let's change that. I'm like, what do I need to do to change that? He goes, oh, just this, I'll send you an email. It's okay. All last week I went through the background, still going through the background check, because it takes time. I'm not worried about it. Doing some online testing, online courses, and yeah, as soon as that background checks in, I become an official assistant coach to help on my son's lacrosse team. So it's one of those full circle. It started kind of because of him, and now look where we're at. I can actually tell that story without crying now, because for the longest time I couldn't. Why are you doing this? I'm like, okay, the reason I just lost it, because he means everything to me. He is my guy. That's what I tell him. Like, what does that mean? I call you my guy.
Yeah.
You were saying, explain in one word. I can't. And when he, how do I tell my kid I love him? I can't, right? So I was always tell him, you're my guy. Do you know what that means? Yeah, Dad, I know what that means. All right, you're my guy. And why did I do all this? For me, Dad. When you are at the head of that journey, or God, the day after surgery, or coming home, and still, I very vividly remember all of those steps, right?
It's like the 2 ounces of water. Slowly.
I can't count how many times, not necessarily that I cried myself to sleep, but it was like, why did I do this? This is the stupidest mistake I've ever made in my entire life. I can't believe it. And I remember even telling my wife, I don't know why I did this. I should not have done this. This is a really bad idea. What do we do? Just one of those at that point, it's like, sorry, dude. That's not a bus you get off
You're
of.
You're kind of here now.
Yeah. But now looking back, it doesn't even feel like it's been 7 months since my surgery.
I saw that.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like it. It feels like it's always been, right? I'd do it again.
Yeah.
I mean, they talk about, that 2-week diet beforehand. It was a fun challenge.
Yeah.
It wasn't the end of the world.
Right.
The pain management, or the walking labs, or all the that comes with it.
Yeah.
I'd do it again.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. It feels like everything's different now, and it is, honestly. When it first started, it was food. Everything was different or new for the first time. Because even if I had a hamburger 100 times before, if I had a hamburger now for the first time, my body reacted differently to it. It's like, hey, what is this, right? Even simple things, having applesauce, right? You'd be like, whoa, I don't know if I want this. And then, your body, or at least for me, my body would learn to do that. And, life has been that way too, right? Like with the lawn mowing story. I know that I can go out there and I can whoop out a lawn mowing in a month, or real quick. I didn't know that last month or month prior.
Yeah.
I'm anxious to fly somewhere, because that's always, I never traveled much. I did for work and whatnot, but that was always a huge source of anxiety, because I get in that seat and honest to God, shut the video off. I never buckled the seatbelt. So I was too embarrassed to ask for the extender.
Yeah.
And it was never big enough to fit me, so I'd stretch it out all the way.
Yeah.
And I'd hide it over here.
Yeah.
And then with the belly, I could just kind of push forward. They'd come by and I'd do one of these, and we're good, right? And then it was always that, not that I leaned, but I took up more seat, right? I'm folded into this seat.
Yeah, you're carrying over.
And then you sit there, because I'm always one of those guys, I got to be on the flight a little earlier, and then I'd sit there and I'm watching just the people coming by. I'm like, is that the person that's going to sit next to me? Is that the person? Is that the person? Oh God, please don't be her. her because I don't want her. Oh man! Or the big dude that sits next to me is like, "This is gonna suck," you know.
The two of you.
This is how I normally sit. It's totally cool. So I want to try that. Shopping has been interesting. I actually walked up to my wife and I think I knocked her out of her seat. I'm like, honey, and I look her deep in the eyes and I go, I want to go try on pants this weekend. And she just,
What?
huh? Because that was me. I knew my pant size. I knew what fit. I knew brand. I knew where to get. And that's what I did. Went, bought, get, boot. And no. She'd be like, oh, hon, these ones are on sale. Do you want to try? No. Can we just go? I don't like shopping. I was like, sweet, let's do it.
So, what's funny is it's one of my questions was, what was your clothing size?
Huh?
What was it and what is it now?
So pants was 46. They are now 38, and I'm contemplating going to a 36. It started with the belt, right? I had the belt, and I kept poking holes in the belt. And I got to the point where it's like the flap that was left over.
Mm-hmm.
I remember the day cutting that back. And then my wife was like, well, I'm just going to get online and I'm just going to buy you the next size down because, honey, those are really baggy pants. And it was, again, me doing the whole, I don't want to be disappointed or upset or, I'm like, no, I'm fine with these. I don't want to. And I got to the point where she's like, no, I'm going to buy you 40s. I'm like, I want to. Because again, it's that whole thing, right? Like, if I get them and I don't fit, I don't want that to be the trigger of, F it, I'm out.
Because that little, we can look back at it and say, that little insecurity, right?
Yep.
That little piece. But you don't realize how much it's ingrained
Massive
in
power.
you. And it just, that's all you think.
And I didn't
that's
want
all
to.
you know.
I know, staring at my pants and the fact that I can damn near put them over my head, I know, scientifically, I will fit into a 40.
Yeah.
But I tell you what, if those show up and I don't,
Right.
how crushing would that be, right? So she got them, I put them on, I was like, I think these are too big.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so did that for a while, and then the next one, she's like, I think you should get a new belt. Same exact thing. I don't want to have that,
I've got
disappointment.
plenty of more room for holes.
I can keep poking holes, I'm doing just fine. And then she bought me a belt, and I was like, this is too big! Like I say, the pants I'm wearing now are 38. And I'm contemplating a 36 just to tease, just to see.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So, would you have an idea of how many bags of clothes you may have donated already?
Yeah, 2.5 large construction bags, the big black construction bags, dumped.
That's awesome.
And it was one of those things too, 90% of it I never wore
Mm-hmm.
because I know I'll get back to this size, right? There were some 3X t-shirts, button-up shirts like this, nice dress shirts, 3X in my closet. I'm a big Packers fan, and I have been for many, many years. So there's some 2X and extra large Packer shirts. Well, of course, I'm not throwing those away. It's Packers. I'll get back there eventually. And if I don't, they're really cool shirts, right?
And the beer.
So yeah, I got back there and then kept going. The ability to go to Fred Meyer, Target, any of those, just any of those standard stores and buy a shirt is huge. Because I always had to plan where I needed to go. DXW, JCPenney's in Alderwood because they have a big and tall section. It used to be Fred Meyer and Linwood because they used to have a big and tall section, right? You plan these things. Now when I'm rolling through Target, picking up whatever, I'm like, ooh, I want to go look at the t-shirts. And I'll pick up these stupid graphic tees, but I can do that.
Yeah.
Appointments and stuff over the video, it's like, okay, you get the job done, right? Yes, hey, you're doing good, keep it up, here's some suggestions. But when I get to come in here, it's different, it's fun. And that's the biggest thing too, it's been a fun process. And I get that here. You come in, it's like, you really give a poop. The longest time I didn't tell anybody.
Oh yeah.
How'd you lose weight? Oh, I did some stuff, worked real hard. Don't tell anybody. And I was just like, you want a story? You got 4 hours? Sit down. I got some stuff for you.
Come on.
I don't mind it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Again,
and
and a lot of it was because of them. It's not just a, in, out, cattle stamp, move on. I am jacked to see where I will be in 6 months.
I am too.
Just if it's been anything like, the first 6 months, yeah.
I am too. We're gonna have to follow up in 6 months.
Absolutely.
And sit and
'Cause
chat.
it's just a completely different world.
Yeah.
Completely different.
Yeah.
And it's been fun because I've been a big guy my entire life. I think I sprouted in like elementary school or junior high, which is one of those never look back. And I'm smaller now than I've ever been since I think junior high.